All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our big guys. Trolling through our list here on the big guys. Last week we did tackles, guards, centers. Next week, so let's go through our top 10 list here. Top 10 guards in the NFL in 2024. Who are the best guards in the league? Checking on the Orioles score there. Orioles game still going on. Checking on the Orioles score there. Okay, so let's get to the big guys. We know him, Kevin Zeitler. Man, how good is the Lions line? I think the Lions line, offensive line, might have been the best in the NFL last season. It only got better when you add Kevin Zeitler. I think the only reason the Ravens let him walk out of the door was he was almost 35 years old. That's probably the reason why they didn't want to commit and extend like that, like he had hoped for. That Zeitler, I think, is top shelf. I definitely have him one of the best Ravens offensive linemen. I think he's going to do nothing but add. Next to Penny Sewell on that side, also as well. I think Zeitler is top shelf, top 10 in the league. Trey Smith, I think is another guy benefiting from the fact that he's got two great players with him. Trey Smith, he's got Joe Nutney and Creed Humphrey on one side. I think Trey Smith, I think, is a bit underrated, though. I think he's very, very solid in the run game. I definitely think he is. I think definitely when they want to go ahead, pound, and go inside, Isaiah Pacheco, you can definitely ask him how good Trey Smith is. I think, again, this is another team, top shelf inside guys. Trey Smith, I have him at number 9. Zack Martin, yeah, he's on the list. Zack Martin, for a while there, some people would have him at 1. I don't think he's a 1 anymore. Slipped down for sure. Getting a little bit older. I definitely think, though, still, he could be the best offensive lineman that the Cowboys have still. That's saying something. This is a team for years. The Cowboys had a great offensive line. You look at the history of the Cowboys. I mean, I had Thuney, Larry Allen, those guys like Eric Williams. So definitely the history of the Cowboys had some great, great offensive linemen. And in recent years, they've kind of rebuilt it. One of the building blocks has been Zack Martin. I don't have him at 1, but I definitely still have him at top 10. I think as he is, him at his top game, at his top status, when he's playing the best, he's definitely in the top 10, better than most. Kevin Datson. The Rams line is, I think, very, very underrated. I think Datson, I think I've noticed with them, they always like Kansas City, like the Ravens. Guys inside are usually very good. Very good. New England for years was like that. They're guard to guard. They're very good. Datson, I think, is good as well. I think this is probably one of the better. I definitely have him in the top 10. Definitely, you see their run game. I've heard a lot of people question how good Kyron Williams is. And the smart thing, if you're Kyron Williams, to run behind this guy, that's a good idea. Like Kevin Datson, I have him at number 7 as well. I talked about how good the Lions is, offensive line is. You talk about. I think they've been on. I think they've been in every spot pretty much. Graham Glasnow. I think like you talk about him on this offensive line. Penei Sewell, you got Graham Glasnow. Now you got Kevin Zeitler. I mean, it's just terrific what they've been able to build in Detroit. I think it's the strength of their team. He's a mauler too. I love offensive linemen that maul. So that's even like a generic term, but guys that just really get their hands on you, and you're just too strong. You just nothing you can do about it. You're too strong. Too strong. Nobody's gonna try and run the ball. The reason why they've having so much success in the run game in Detroit is Graham Glasnow. It's been one of the better offensive guards in the league. I think he's a decent enough pass blocker, but I like to watch him run block. That's just me. But I like to watch him run block. Here's a guy who's been one of the better ones for years. I think this is probably the Browns, one of the better defensive line. He's kind of sneaking up on people as being one of the best for so long. I'm doing this a lot, and I'm looking at all the stats, win rate, and all that, and I keep seeing him. I keep seeing him for a number of years. Joe Benato. Joe Patano of the Browns. Definitely, yes. Again, strong run. What's the theme here with these guards? Strong run game. What do we know the Browns for? Nick Chubb last year, even with the Chubb injury, Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt. I guess running inside, guys like this make us successful. So that's the theme here with these guys. Definitely strong. I don't think he's. I think he's a more of a combo, which is good. It's fine to have those maulers, but a guy who can run and pass block, definitely solid here. I've always liked him though. I think he's top 5. Quinton Nelson, battling injuries a bit. Look, as a college guard, I think one of the best I ever saw. I don't know if there ever was a guy in college who was more dominant at the point of attack than Quinton Nelson. His first couple years in the league, he definitely was battling some injuries. That's probably getting him here, but I wouldn't want to see him. Definitely just tremendous strength for Quinton Nelson. I still have him pretty high, though. I think Quinton Nelson, I like him a lot. He is number 4. Joe Thuney. Definitely here's a guy, spent a lot of years in New England, more recent years with the Chefs. And I think the Chefs guard to guard are terrific. Absolutely. Thuney, I think, doesn't lose much at all. Definitely, you want to talk about a guy. Look, a couple years ago, when the Chefs lost the Super Bowl, what did they say was wrong? We need to take out that offensive line and a whole new offensive line. One of the guys, the building blocks they brought in was this guy, Joe Thuney. Definitely so many. Definitely, I think probably as he's a little bit younger, I might have him even higher than 3. I really like him. I think there's not a lot of flaws in his game. Number 3, Joe Thuney. Landon Dickerson, I think the Eagles, definitely. What's the theme? Strong run game. Noticing that all the guards here that we have, teams, Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Browns, strong run game. Landon Dickerson. Definitely now. Only thing here, no longer next to Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce is retired. So definitely as strong as the Eagles are on offense and their line and the run game and their tush push and all that, interesting to see how he is. But definitely, I'm not too worried about that. He's top drawer. I think the Eagles' offensive line is really good. They sputtered on offense a bit down the stretch for whatever reason. I think maybe they got tired, had a lot of close games, but definitely Landon Dickerson is fantastic. Chris Lindstrom. I think this is more Trent Williams in this case. I think definitely I like him in the number 1 spot. I think also interestingly, of all the guys on this list, I think he's been working with the least. So I think his dominance kind of goes unnoticed. But I mean, like when I mean Trent Williams, he's so good on a line. He makes the whole line look better. I think it's the case with Lindstrom as well, where I think people think the Falcons line is better than it is because he's there. Lindstrom, I don't think there's about. You look at the win rate stats and everything with him, it's not close. Lindstrom, I think, number 1 offensive guard in the entire NFL. So there you go. All right. So offensive line. So the guards. We don't have any as far as Ravens yet, but definitely you saw it. Win rates. When I look at a list like this, I look at the one stat that I actually look at is the win rate for offensive linemen. Okay. So are they winning in the run game? So are they getting pushed around? Are they getting positive plays, et cetera, like that? Go to ESPN Pro Football Focus and look at those stats. That's kind of what I'm using here to go ahead and judge a lot of these guys. And then also to look at the eyeball test. Who sticks out? Like you can't watch like a Quinton Nelson and say, whoa, you see guys way downfield. So those are the things I'm definitely looking at. I think Lindstrom is absolutely great as far as being the best, I think, one of the best offensive linemen in the entire NFL.